Hello, 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 everyone. It is Thursday night, and this is our Leadership Academy for we do every Thursday night. Guys, my name is Dale Goble. I'm going to be your host tonight. I'm going to give you a little information about us, what we do. I'll tell you a little bit about me also. I grew up in the horse business. I grew up showing, training horses, traveling around the United States. Then I got into the hat business with a saddle and tack business. So I've had the opportunity to travel extensively around the United States. And then there was somebody who introduced me to this company. And they're like, Dale, what are you looking for? They introduced me to Rain International. What are you looking for? What is your dream? What do you want to do? Are you looking for a difference in your quality of life? Do you want to travel a lot with travel opportunities? Do you want a high energy type deal? Do you want to work that gives you financial security? Do you want something to be able to give your family some financial security? What is it you're looking for? Or is it optimal health? A lot of different things. Well, I kind of thought about it and I get to travel everywhere. I've met people around the world doing all kinds of things in the horse business. But there are a few other things that are in that you've talked about. And yes, there's some mega trends going around in this industry right now that of side gigs and doing this and doing that. So I wanted to hear a little more. And that's where I got introduced into Rain International. Because like I said, there's mega trends, there's things going around. The world is resetting, the opportunities are changing. And so I wanted to share a little bit about it tonight. So again, I haven't spoke of it yet, but if you're just logging in, let us know who you are, where you're logging in from. Let us know a little bit about yourself because we want to welcome you to this tonight. This is our leadership training. We do it for the field every week. So if you've been invited to eavesdrop in and see how the business is run, hear a little bit about it, and you're going to receive a little information so that you can make a great decision whether this is something for you or not. You'll learn about the company and the products, the compensation plan. You're going to hear from some great leadership tonight because we've got some great people on. Mr. Derek Lord's on with us tonight. Rebel Brown is on with us. Then we've got some other people that are going to give us some testimonies that are just amazing because they're new to the business. They've just learned about it and they've gotten in and they want to share a little bit about that. So, guys, we've just got so much booked into this. There's a lot of information tonight we want to share with you. And again, if you hear something you love, I want you to get back to the person that invited you, and we'll talk more about that again in a little bit. But right now, we are going to move on, and I want to introduce Miss Rebel Brown from California. She's been in the tech world and done a lot, and she is loaded with energy and just a phenomenal, great person. I've only had the opportunity to meet her a couple of times, but she has been loaded with energy. She's got a lot in common with me on the horse business and on. Still got horses and border collies and just can't help but love her to death. But anyway, let's switch it over to you, Rebel Brown, and she's going to do a little talking for us.
Thank you. That was so sweet, Dale. I actually have a horse question for you later, but we'll talk about that offline, right?
Good.
So I'm Rebel Brown and I am Rain, and I'm going to talk to you today about one of the products I have. I say everyone's my favorite product, so it's really hard, but this is one of my favorite products, all right? And it is called Bend. So first, okay, here we go, guys. I was having trouble with my technology earlier, so let's see if I can share this screen. Is it there, boys? Yeah? I love it. All right, so we're going to talk about Bend, but first I want to talk to you a little bit about seeds, all right? And I went out and did some research on seeds because when Randy called me about this, I didn't know about seeds. I thought you just ate them, right? Well, that's not necessarily the way you get it. So anyway, so let's talk about nutrition. So I think by now we all know that our nutrition is somewhat lacking. Actually, it sucks between the degradation in our soils and the chemicals that the farmers use and just the quality of our food, but is not good even if it's fresh. And then you look at all the processed food that's being eaten. You guys, processed is not nutrition. If it doesn't have a date on it, it's dangerous. All right. So, and you know what? We don't just need better food. We don't just need another diet. We need a breakthrough in nutrition. And you know what? I think Rain's that. I think Rain and seed-based nutrition is the breakthrough we've been waiting for decades when it comes to really upping our nutrition. Seeds, I believe, are the most important breakthrough we've had in 50 to 100 years. We've had vitamins, then we had supplements, then we learned about organic, then we learned about non-GMO, but nothing comes close to what seeds give us. And here's why. So these tiny little powerhouses, like 2 millimeters, right? They deliver 20 to 30x more potency than the plants and fruits that they create, right? They're stuffed with protein and fat and vitamins and minerals and X, Y, and Z, right? So think about this. Did you know that a pineapple tree seed is only 2 millimeters? Think about that, right? A 2 millimeter seed grows a pineapple tree. Now, how much power and nutrition do you think is in the DNA of that seed to grow that pineapple tree? And wouldn't you love to have that for yourself? Yeah. But here's the thing, you can't just eat the seed and get the benefits. It has to go through a little bit different processing, all right? It took an innovative idea combined with an innovative bioscience to harness the potency of seeds for us. And that's exactly what the RAIN scientists did. Now, as Dale mentioned, I've been working in advanced high tech and biotech my entire career, 35 years. And I can tell you, I think RAIN innovation is the breakthrough that we've been waiting for. The process that these guys created to be able to harness the power of the seeds and make them fully available and fully potency to your body is a brilliant technology innovation, and it's the only one like it. I really believe seed-based nutrition is the future. So does RAIN, and I think so do all of us, right? Now that we're on it, right? So let's talk a little bit about what Bend does for you, okay? See if it goes. Yes. Okay, so now Bend, it's got that, but here, I'm going to hold one up. I told the guys I'd be a demo dolly tonight, so here I am, right? And then I'm also going to show you. I'm drinking it. I got it in with a little water, but I'm drinking Bend. So let's talk about joint pain. And I am an expert on joint pain, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit. But did you know there's more than 300 joints in your body? I didn't. And, whether you're an adrenaline junkie like me, because I am, a weekend warrior, or a really blissful couch potato watching whatever, you need to be able to have your joints work to be able to stand up, walk, and bend. And that's why RAIN created Bend. It's a specific blend of seeds designed to fuel our joints, to heal them, but it's also designed to keep them healthy and continue to make them healthy so that you can remain active and pain-free. Now, I was pretty rough on my body. I climbed big mountains, and I was a ski patroller and steeps and deeps, and I was a dive instructor, and I flew a soft wing, and I ride cow horses. Yes, I like extremes, and I love adrenaline. And my friends used to look at me and say, "You're going to really regret that when you get older." And I was like, "Oh, not me." Derek's laughing. We've all been, Dale's been there. I know, right? Oh, not me, right? I started waking up about the middle of my life going, what the hell, right? I mean, it hurt. And then it started hurting more. And then it started hurting more. And then it was like, I can't bend my knee. This thumb right here, this doom scrolling thing, I tried everything. Yeah, I didn't want to take Motrin and Aleve and the over-the-counter drugs because they are just plain not good for you. And so I ended up, you guys, I was making my own supplements every week, capsule. I have a capsule thing and everything. And I was taking 30 to 40 capsules a day. Boswellia and curcumin and dragon claw and cat's claw and you name it. I was putting everything into my body I could, and I was getting by, right? I was able to keep writing, keep doing my stuff. Can't ski anymore because can't hit bumps, but and then I tried this, and my life transformed. I love it. So do my knees, my hips, my ankles, my spine, my neck, my thumb, right? Everything's better. Now, what is Bend? All right, so let's talk about what Bend is. So Bend is designed to help with three things. All right, let's talk about what it does first. Inflammation. Inflammation is one of the key causes of your joint pain, of your body pain, swelling, tenderness, whatever, right? That morning stiffness you get, that's inflammation, right? Then there's cartilage. Now, cartilage acts like, you know, that cushion you have in the bottom of your shoes or your sneakers? That's what cartilage is for your joints. It lubricates your joints and it reduces the friction or the drag, right? So that you don't get stiff and painful. Then there's your tendons. Now, here's something I never knew. Your body contains about 4,000 tendons and 900 ligaments. Now, imagine what that is for your musculoskeletal system. Say that 3 times, right? Means you better take care of those tendons and ligaments as well, because they work with your joints, right? And that's what Ben does. It's designed to do all 3 of those things. So let's talk about what's in it that feeds and fuels your joints. First, there's glucosamine sulfate. We've all heard about glucosamine chondroitin, right? Well, glucosamine is a natural sugar that's found in your cartilage. So when you replenish it with highly available and pure glucosamine sulfate, your body's building more healthy cartilage. And by the way, it's pure, it's vegan. It is not made from shellfish, which is what you see most of the products are. And you don't want the shellfish because think about the toxins that are in the water that those shellfish pick up, right? So it's pure glucosamine sulfate. Then there's flaxseed. Oh, by the way, I was taking flaxseed capsules too. You know, it reduces inflammation and it relieves the pain because it's filled with omega-3 fatty acids and flavonoids. And you know what's funny is and Dale will attest to this, I've fed my horses, my cow horses, flaxseed for their hocks for when they slide and turn on cows forever. And now I'm using it, and I actually use it with my Bend, but I also grind it up and eat it every once in a while, right? Then there's black cumin seed oil. This thing, black cumin seeds are like salt, right? They're these little baby things, but they're powerful. They reduce inflammation and that oxidative stress that happens, you know, antioxidant, right? And then, yeah, there's curcumin or turmeric, right? Now, I used it for decades. I told you that, but do you know that ancient turmeric was used in South Asia as early as 3000 BC? This has been known forever. It's a powerhouse because it feeds and fuels the chondrocytes, and the chondrocytes are the cells within the cartilage. So now what you've got is you have products, you have seeds blended to work on your joints, but not just to make them better. It's designed to keep them better, right? So you get healthy cartilage. That's the first thing. Your joints get healthier, but you also stay pain-free and stay healthier because you're not just covering it like a pain medicine does. You're fueling it and healing it, and you're giving it what it needs, the food it needs to be able to stay healthy. We also have healthy bones and joints, right? So you can keep doing the things you love, and that's important. And then there's the inflammation. And I cannot begin to tell you, you guys, I had so much inflammation, I would wake up feeling like a stuffed sausage ready to explode every freaking morning of my life. And now I wake up and go, it's gone because Ben takes away the joint pain and the inflammation and the joint pain, and it changes all of that for the better. But there's even more. And I know I say that all the time, you know, you don't want just a temporary pain fix. I talked about that a little bit. You want to improve your joint health and keep them healthy as they age. And trust me, age is not a good thing. So healthy gene signaling. Now, what the heck does that mean? So signaling is the interplay between specific genes and their signals, and that influences the development and the function and the health of cells in your joints in this case. Certain genes can be activated or deactivated, and we're all learning this through through all of our biology, right? And that leads to changes in the cells, aka in the joint health, depending on the signals they send to the cells within the joint structure. So this is really key because unlike popular OTC meds that are band-aids, Bend actually helps to correct the causes behind the symptoms. So you got band-aids on OTC that take away the symptoms, or you can heal it underneath, right? To build and maintain better joint health. Now, every ingredient is scientifically, you can read this, it's scientifically tested and proven, and it's all in independent labs, and we have those lab tests available. And let me just tell you, if you want to learn about Bend, or you want to learn about any of the other nutrition products that we have, and I've got to tell you, every single one of them is outstanding, then We have all of these beautiful resources that you can use. If whoever invited you, talk to them about them. But what I also want to tell you is as you join us, you know, as Dale mentioned, I've been in high tech my whole life, and I have launched probably 300 companies. I'm basically a rainmaker for startups in high tech. And I've built more materials than anybody I know. And these materials are absolutely beautiful because they're designed to make sharing rain as an associate very easy, but they're also designed that anybody wants to learn about the products, the technology, the seeds, the company. Everything is here in these resources between videos and data sheet, product sheets and magazines, our Vitality magazine. So we have everything you need to be able to learn about seeds or to be able to share the power of seed nutrition with others. And just remember, bend lets you bend, and I can do that now. I was going to stand up and bend, but I decided that'd be a little much, so I won't do it, guys. Okay, back to you, Dale.
Rebel, thank you so very much for a great presentation. Because
Okay, let me stop sharing. There we go.
Okay,
Am I out?
you're still there, but everybody should be able to hear me.
Okay, hang on. Let me stop.
Yep.
I stopped.
You're right.
I think I'm okay to keep talking.
You
Can
keep
y'all hear me?
talking, and I'll see if I can get this thing out of here. Get rid of it?
It did.
Okay.
Well, while Rebel's doing that, I'm gonna talk
All right,
about
Dale.
a little bit. Guys, thank you for the wonderful presentation, Rebel. You know, Ben really is one of my favorites also because, you know, it's like an oil change for your body. It's putting good oils in, wash those bad oils out. And from the history of the horse business, and I know Rebel can back me up on this, a lot of the products that are in Ben, we used to buy individually for a lot of money to give our horses and put over their feeds. And I can testify that this stuff works because, you know, I don't like to run. I'm a fat boy and I don't like to run a whole lot, but I know when I do go jogging, Ben, I have to take it because it helps my lower back so much. So if you got those aches and pains from doing things you normally don't like to do, it works.
You are
so,
not
guys,
a fat boy,
a
Dale.
lot of companies have built an entire company on one of these products. And we have synergistically figured out how to put them together to work together and make a great product. So now, guys, we're going to move forward a little bit to another one of my great friends, Derek Lord out of Chicago. He's in the insurance business, been in the finance business. He's a magician at part-time, I believe. And so I think we're going to let him sprinkle some of that dust and share a little magic about the meaning of leverage. And so, Mr. Derek Lord, over to you.
Thanks, Dale. Hi, everybody. I want you to stop and think for a moment as if there were no rules. If what you learned might not be completely true, what you learned in school, what you learned from parents or siblings, we're going to talk about something that is really important if you want to be able to enjoy your life, and it's called leverage. We sometimes refer to it, as you look on the slide, the superpower of wealth building. But for a moment, let's talk about lifestyle. And this is something that I find to be very important. And the reason I find it to be important is it's something that you decide. Nobody else decides for you. They don't tell you what you have to do. They don't tell you where you have to go. You can design your lifestyle business for yourself. But if we want to do that, how do we do it? How do we take advantage of things that some of these other people have done? And so what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about megatrends. And what are megatrends? Well, megatrends are the things you would like to be in front of so that you can take advantage of movement. One of them is what? Social entrepreneurship. And we're going to talk a little more about that later because, to be fair, I've been around a little while and I didn't really have a feeling for what social entrepreneurship is. Healthy lifestyle, well, come on, we all know. You know, you want to be healthy. You don't necessarily have to be able to run marathons and, you know, be in the Olympics, but you have to have a good level of health to enjoy your life. Side gig. That's a kind of an interesting one because when you go back in time, a lot of times if somebody, quote, had a side gig, it meant that they couldn't earn enough money in their regular job or career. Well, let me tell you, that has changed in a big way. And of course, social media marketing. How many of us have been around before social media? And then how many of us have been around when you're looking at somebody or a group of people at almost any age, and you can't even see them because they're looking at a screen? Side gig business. What if you were able to do a side gig? And a lot of people have. Needless to say, we had a little thing called a pandemic for a couple years, and a lot of people became more aware of, maybe I need to have something else that I can do. Maybe I need something. So what if you could set your own hours? Well, that's good. That's interesting. One of the ones that's most important in my life and some of the people I know is being able to choose who you work with. Wouldn't that be cool? What if some of your friends, what if some of the people you like, maybe even relatives and family, you never know. Unlimited earning potential, what does that mean? Well, there's no fixed ceiling on the amount of earnings you can have. It depends on your goals and it depends on what you're willing and able to do. However, we're going to touch on something in a minute because that last component on this slide becomes successful by empowering others. This is a very unique business. In order to be successful, you have to help other people. Travel? Well, we've got some trips coming up that are really exciting over in Istanbul, Turkey coming up. And then there's a big promotion that we'll let them talk about later on. But what if, when you travel, what if you could actually travel and meet up with people who are part of your team or that you've met or that you've seen on one of these trainings? Wait a second, earn across 16 time zones, what does that mean? Well, that means when you go to sleep, there will be people on the other side of the world who are waking up. And if you have the ability, there's 16 different time zones, so you can earn while you sleep. Not too shabby. But now we're going to touch on this phrase, social entrepreneurship. And what does that really mean? Well, it means doing well by doing good. In other words, you will never be sorry or afraid or ashamed or concerned in what you're doing because you're helping other people be able to change their lives, both health-wise as well as financially. Wouldn't that be cool? So if you're going to do something, that might be something to consider. And now we're going to look at a couple of people that we probably have seen or heard about. Mark Cuban, Oprah Winfrey, Bezos, Rowling, right? What do they have that's different than most of us? Well, they're not just getting paid for the hours that they work in a day. They have figured out how to harness leverage. And that's why we call it a superpower, because you have the ability to leverage other people's times and skills and interests. You've got a chance to do something that's extraordinary. Now, if you already know how to write a best-selling book, maybe you don't really need to listen to the rest of this. If you're able to leverage and do some of the things that are there. But for most of us, we need to be able to do this in a way that's important. And what does it mean? Well, here's the reality. Either you employ leverage or you work for someone who does. What does that mean? It just means that you now know something that has great ability to help you and your family. So now let's play a little game, okay? Let's just say that on a part-time basis, you were able to carve out in a week. What if you could carve out 15 hours in a week, a couple hours a day? And does it have to be in a row? No, might be 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here, whatever works. So now you're going to work 15 hours a week on your rain business? Well, here's something interesting. What if you were able to find a couple other people who also thought this was a good idea? And now they put in their 15 hours in addition to yours. Now you've got 45 hours a week. Now I know there's people on this panel as well as in the room who have worked not just 45 hours themselves, but 50, 60, 80 hours a week. You just can't do that forever. And now we're going to make it a little harder because those two people are now also going to find a couple people who would like to do it. Now you've got the equivalent of 105 hours of work being done, helping you and them. And that's part of what's so valuable. This is really a team effort. And what you get is you get an opportunity to spend time with some of the people that you like. And now we're going to look at something. And for the next 2 hours and 45 minutes, oh, I'm just kidding. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to talk about ways that you can earn in the RAIN compensation plan. And by the way, my background is finance and math. So, we really could spend a lot of time, but we're not. What we're going to do is we're going to hit the highlights. What RAIN has done is RAIN has created a compensation plan that rewards the proper behavior. So we don't have to come up with it ourselves. As a matter of fact, you look at that first circle, customer rewards. What does that mean? Everything we do is based upon customers. And we have a program specifically where they're able to take advantage of that. They can earn rewards and free product. There's a lot of nifty things they can do. Now, if you happen to be interested in also doing this more as a business with other people, maybe a team, well, we have a couple things up front, which are called fast start commissions, partner bonuses and senior partner bonuses, where you can earn an extra $100 or $200 or $300. They allow you to start quickly and get your money and investment back right away, put you in profit. Then we go down to team volume commissions. And what team volume commissions do is you actually have an opportunity with those people, for example, to build two teams, a right and left. And based upon what you do and what they do, you have the ability to earn commissions by helping them help other people. Now it gets pretty exciting because those next two circles, Global Executive Pool and Global Diamond Bonus Pool, that's something that many of us had never seen before because RAIN is active in over 40 countries. Now, you may not know people in all of these countries, but because of these bonus pools, you have the ability to share in the success of the company all over the world. Think back to that 16 time zones. Yeah, you've got people who are working and you can essentially partner up with them and win while they're winning. And then the last circle on this page was called generational matching bonus. Now, for those of you who want to find out a little more, get back to the person who invited you, ask some questions, because that generational matching bonus can do something that is extraordinary. You can absolutely create a legacy for your family for generations, not just generations how the program works, okay, but for family generations. And with that, Dale, let me send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Derek. I really appreciate hearing what you said about leverage because, RAIN's been using the word leverage for a while. And I've always said, okay. Now you're starting to hear people on all the different platforms everywhere talking about leverage. And there truly is some reality of how much leverage can do for you, especially when you're talking about doing it. It's coming in from around the world in different countries, different states, different time zones. And it makes a difference. It really does. So thank you very much, Derek, for that right there. Now, guys, next in line tonight, we are going to hear some real stories from real people, some great people. Especially this first group. I've got Brock Knight and his wife Laura are going to come on, and they're going to give a quick little short testimony about it's theirs. I'm going to let them do it. I don't want to talk about it. And then we've got a couple other we're going to hear from also. But guys, if you're thinking about this, great opportunity. Over to you, Mr. Brock.
Thank you, Dale. Hey, everybody. Hello, Rain. My name's Brock.
And I'm Laura Knight.
We're out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we are very glad and honored to be on here with all of you guys. Hello. We're extremely excited because the whole time that we've been in Atlanta, I've been building houses. So, as a general contractor and building other people's houses and remodeling other people's houses and making everybody's dreams come true with their kitchens and their bathrooms and all this exciting stuff. Me and Laura, we have a house in Tennessee and we got a house of remodeling here. We got two houses that are just absolutely, they need to be remodeled. It's like a lot of money. So I'm like doing all these people's houses, and it's time that we get our own houses fixed and remodeled. So we found Rain, and my wife has always loved nutrition. So.
Yes, well, I'm a full-time mommy of 4 kids and beautiful kids, and we homeschool as well. So it's a lot that goes into that. And we've always wanted to, I'm passionate about nutrition. I've always wanted to help people with nutrition as well. And if I can do that from home and help other mommies get that in my own lifestyle and the day to day, and I feel overwhelmed, oh my God, how I'm gonna get extra income, or how we're gonna, and I can do my passion from home as well everywhere we go.
So we found Rain, and Rain found us. So we're going to be able to be passionate about getting our dreams fixed. And the way to do that is help a lot of other people get their dreams met and their visions, what they want in life as well. So we're going to hand it over to Miss Yana out of Dallas, Texas.
Hello, everybody. My name is Yana Sutova, and I'm sure you're wondering about my accent. So I'll tell you right now, I'm from former Czechoslovakia, and we used to live in Prague, Czech Republic. And how did I get into Rain is Brock. And why did I answer his call? Well, first, let me tell you, originally, I come from my country where I studied midwifery. So I am a midwife. But when I came to this country, my diploma wasn't good here. And I didn't speak much English at the time, but I had a very special skill. I was a pianist. So I entered college and I studied piano, and I became a piano teacher. And I always worked for myself. I'm an entrepreneur. I never liked to have a boss. So I always wanted to make my own hours and to work for myself. So this idea really appeals to me very, very much. But I entered a school. It's called FDNP. It's Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioner. And I'm about 70% done with that school. So I'm starting to think about what am I going to recommend to my clients, right? So then Brock calls me and he tells me about Rain Nutrition. And I went that very night, I went on my deep research. And when I saw that this is actually made in United States and how pure, clean, and powerful this nutrition is, and how nobody else has it. And I know about power of the seeds, but I never really thought of other kinds of seeds other than pumpkin seeds, let's say, right? They're excellent. But now I'm looking into red melon seeds and how powerful they are. You know how when we eat red melon, you just kind of take the seeds off, right? Or you buy seedless, and people have no idea how nutritional and how powerful the red melon seeds are. And when I saw that this is part of that nutrition, I went on a deep dive and I said, oh, this is it. This is the nutrition that I will be recommending for my clients when I graduate very, very soon. And will be my number one requirement for every single client of mine, that they get on a Rain nutrition immediately, because of the purity, because of it's a non-GMO seed nutrition, extremely powerful. So I am very excited about nutritional part of it, but I'm very excited about the business opportunity, because as I told you, I'm an entrepreneur. I always work for myself. I don't like to have a boss. And I love vacations. So I would like to have a beautiful vacations. And of course, life is getting more and more expensive, especially now. So this opportunity is extremely exciting for me. And it's very nice to meet you all.
Mark Civic.
Good evening. I'm Mark Sipich. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a CPA that has prepared taxes and business strategies for the last 35 years. And more recently, I've been helping my son to expand his successful pool installation business. So I do a lot of different things with working with business and helping other businesses and owners create their success. And over those years, I've worked 60 to 70 hours a week, but on a salary. So while I'm helping others build their businesses and success and putting in many hours, working while I'm on vacation, going into the office on the weekends and holidays, at the office in the morning before everybody else gets there, or still at the office after everybody else leaves, putting in all those hours, helping everybody become successful, but not getting any more pay. So the more hours I work, the less I made per hour, because I'm on a fixed salary. When my friend introduced me to Rain, I saw the opportunity to take my efforts and apply them and get paid for the efforts that I put into the business. I also saw a system and training that allows me to utilize my time efficiently to help me build and teach other people in my in-between time. So like Derek was talking about, all of it doesn't have to be blocked off at the end of the day or whenever you look at it. Throughout your day, you're utilizing the time that you have, those little lulls in the day, to be able to go and help build your business. So it's a matter of helping to build and helping people succeed while we all become healthier and wealthier. It's a win-win. So much that someday in the near future, I can see that I won't have to work as many hours. I'll get paid what I'm worth. I'll be able to retire with a weekly income, and I can still help other people earn their success. I'm Mark Sipich, and I am Rain. Back to you, Dale.
Guys, thank y'all so very much for some great testimonies. You know, Brock and Laura, amazing people. Miss Yana, first time I've got to meet you and listen to you. Amazing. I'm looking for huge things. Mark, great to hear from you also tonight. I look forward to all of y'all being so successful, because, you know, there really is. These are the real stories from real people who have started out with Rain, getting started, learning, trying it for the first time, just new into it. But we like to share some real stories so that you don't think it's all just put together and said, this is what's got to be. But anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed it. Now, our next presenter is the infamous Mr. Randy Gage. And he is going to go over some leadership stuff tonight. He's going to talk about all the importance of what we need to learn, just cover a small section, just really get down into the learning of leadership. And of course, we are going to talk a little bit more about our trip to Turkey, our possibility of going on a cruise to the Caribbeans. So guys, we'll get over to that. So now let's go over to Mr. Randy Gage. Randy?
Hello, Rain Nation. How are you doing tonight? Everybody looks fabulous. Hey, I want to talk about finding the best people for your team. And for you guys who are just watching as invited guests, the Leadership Academy, as you heard from at the start, we like to do training each week on something to help people become stronger leaders in the business. And one of the most important things we can train our people is how to find the best candidates, how to sort through, eliminate the people who maybe aren't great candidates, and then attract and work with the ones who are great candidates. So let's talk about that. Honestly, it never ceases to amaze me how many people are trying to build their business with a really flawed premise. Okay, here's what I know. Rain is perfect for everyone, but everyone, unfortunately, everyone is not perfect for rain. Think about some of the things we've trained about in past shows, right? Rain is not a sales business. It's a teaching and training business. Our process to grow a team of social entrepreneurs and develop a viable customer base isn't a selling, closing, convincing type process. It is a sorting process where we sort out the people who are great candidates to use the product line and or build a business and create some residual income. It's not about closing techniques or any of that kind of stuff. And so I'm kind of fascinated with how often I see people who are just chasing after somebody who drinks 10 diet sodas a day, smokes a pack of cigarettes. Their entire diet is through a drive-through window, or cake and cookies and chips and jelly beans and candy bars and pizza and ice cream. You're not going to get people like that. They don't invest in premium nutrition. It's just not on their radar, right? Same thing. We all know people, we have them in our orbit who have poverty consciousness. Whatever the issues, programming they received as a child, they might have been in abusive relationships, they might have just low self-esteem because of their environment. So, and you know, and sometimes they develop into professional victims. And you know what I'm talking about. Those are the people you run into them at the supermarket and you say, "Hey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in forever." And they're like, "Well, you know, there was an earthquake and it swallowed up my car. And then when I bought the new car, I got T-boned by another car on the way home. And so I called the tow truck. And as the tow truck was taking away my car, a huge sinkhole developed and swallowed the tow truck and my car. I hitchhiked home and found out my wife had left me for another man. She left a note on the refrigerator, and my dog ran away. And when I went after the dog, a meteorite landed on me." And you know, and that it's not a one-time thing. That's going to happen every time you see them. And I don't say that to demean those people. I used to be one of those people, right? I used to be someone who I smoked 3 packs a day of Marlboro 100s. Used to drink 15 cups of coffee, drink 10 sodas, eat nothing but pizza, right? I wasn't at the consciousness, so rain would have been irrelevant to me had someone approached me at that time. So the people we know in scenarios that just aren't right now, just love them and let them grow. Things change as they develop, you know, and they might go to the doctor one day and he's saying, "If you don't make changes, we're going to be amputating your legs because of what develops." And you know what I mean? They're going to rethink their life, or they're going to get laid off, or the people where they work are going to get laid off, and they're going to rethink, do I need a side gig? Does it make sense to explore other options? Should I have a plan B? Right? Those are the people, when they get to the right consciousness, you're going to put them in front of a presentation with rain, and they're going to have an epiphany. They're going to say, "Of course I value my health. Of course I know that the The things I eat and drink are the most important things, in terms of my health and my wellness, my energy, my body. And they will have the epiphany that rain and its seed source nutrition are the breakthrough they've been looking for. Or they will have the epiphany like, yes, I knew I wanted to develop residual income. I knew I wanted to unleash the power of leverage. I'm tired of trading hours for money. And rain, wow, this business that so-and-so just shared with me, this is the perfect example. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. We're looking for people who have that epiphany. So part of the thing we've done with Rain, of course, is develop a complete step-by-step system so that anyone you bring into business, it's kind of plug and play. They can follow the system. We have a candidate pathway. We pre-qualify people, find out where their level of interest is, or if there's no interest and they're not a candidate. And then we bring them down the appropriate pathway. So the first step of that process is the pre-qualifying stage, stage 1. We need to know, are they a candidate or not? And if they are a candidate, are they interested in becoming a customer, or are they interested in building a team and creating residual income? So we're pre-qualifying. So what happens at this stage is they come to one of 3 scenarios. They're interested in the products. We're going to put them down the customer pathway. They're interested in creating residual income. We're going to put them down the associate pathway. Or they're not interested. And again, we're just going to set them aside like, okay, I'll check back with you in 6 months or 10 months and we'll see if something changes in their life in the future. They may be viable candidates at that point. And so it's just bring them down the correct pathway. Now, that's what I want to teach on tonight. And I want you to be able to really convey this to your new people when you bring them through the new associate orientation. This pre-qualifying step is so important, right? One of the key elements of the orientation is, of course, to create the Hot 25 list and then start your major blast, getting invitations out to these people to see who wants to get in front of a presentation. So there's 3 ways to do that. That's what I want to share with you tonight, so you can make sure to share this with your people. The first way is qualifying questions. We ask qualifying questions to see what interest there is in what. The second one is to use our ultimate lifestyle business booklet, our mass market recruiting tool. And the third option is to use the short, less like 3-minute video, the Seed of Prosperity, what we call an intrigue video. So you select whichever one of those 3 approaches you want to use with each candidate, whatever you think is great, because all 3 work. So let's break them down as the train. Let me see how I'm doing time-wise. Okay, so the qualifying question, this can be done in person. You can SMS or text it. You can DM it. You can do it in email. The whole point of this, the qualifying question, is you're not making a presentation. You're not trying to sign up anyone. You're trying to gauge their level of interest and find out what the interest is. So use the if I would you approach, right? Hey, if I give you this booklet, would you look through it? And if you have any interest, my contact info is on the back. Hey, if I send you a link for a 3-minute video, would you review it and call me as soon as you're done? Those are just qualifying questions. Hey, have you ever thought of developing residual income as a social entrepreneur? Hey, I know you're a real health conscious, socially conscious person. Have you ever given any thought to becoming a social entrepreneur? These are qualifying questions. And the way they work best when you're texting or DM or email is first contact them, get a reply, and then ask the qualifying question. If you just send out an email, hey, would you do me a favor, look at this 3-minute video and call me? They're going to ghost you. And a lot of them are going to say, I don't even, is her account been hacked? Is that legit? I don't want to click on this link. It might be a phishing attack. So contact them first. Open the dialogue. I like to say, hey, is this number still good for you? Or, hey, it's been a minute. Is this email still good? And then they say, yeah, this is mine. What's up? And then I say, hey, if I send you a link to a da-da-da-da, then I've got the conversation going and your responses are much higher. Now let's talk about the booklet, the mass market tool. The exact name is Enjoy the Ultimate Lifestyle Business, in case doesn't come across great in the video, right? This is really 2 uses. This is the reason we call it a mass market tool is because it gets you to people that you wouldn't normally meet. Because what I do is I leave them in the seat pocket of a ride share or an airplane seat. When you go to the dentist or the chiropractor or the accountant and they have the waiting room, everybody's bored out of their gourd and there's nothing there but 15-year-old dirty dog-eared magazines, leave 10 of those booklets there on the table in the lobby somewhere so people pick them up, because those are people you might never see again. And understand, it's a huge numbers game with those. You don't give out 10 and expect to get 9 calls. You give out 100 every month and know that once 1 calls turns into a distributor and they go gold, you just paid for the next 20,000 booklets over the course of their career, right? That is a numbers game. So that's one way to do it. And I suggest buy 25 or 50 of them today. If you don't have them in stock, order them. Now, in some markets, it's not printed, right? In some of our new markets, foreign language markets, but in the markets you have it. If you've got the ability to buy the printed ones, buy them. And then just know where they really work best is when you physically hand it to someone. And the case here, and this is where I get the best results, and I know you will too. Somebody you meet in person, you're never going to see them again, most likely. You go to the RAIN convention and you meet somebody at the car rental center or the desk clerk at the hotel. You might never see them again. You're on a plane, a flight attendant really impresses you. They're so conscientious and friendly and professional, and the way they carry themselves, man, this person could crush it with RAIN. So I like to give them, I do the if I would you, right? My favorite way to set it up, because they've impressed me. I just did this. I bought a new car a couple of weeks ago, and the lady who transferred the title and the license plate and everything, she was just amazing. So professional, so friendly, so efficient. So I told her one of my favorite templates, and feel welcome to steal this from me. I said, you're too good doing what you do to do what you do. If I give you this booklet, blah, 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 right? Now, here's the thing. She didn't call me. I'd love to say, and then she called me, and now she's a Hawaii, triple black rain diamond, and I made $4 million from her last year alone. No, that didn't happen. She didn't even call me. And that happens. That's a numbers game. But the ones who do, this is a great way to get the conversation going and get them into one of the candidate pathways. So when you're able to do that, for you guys who have the printed ones, when you're able to do that, in person, you're going to dramatically get higher results. And then, of course, the Seed of Prosperity video. It's like 3 minutes, and it's what we call an intrigue or sizzle video, because we don't mention what the products are in there. We don't even mention the name of the company in there, because the idea is it's just to intrigue them so we can find out, are they a candidate? And then Are they, you know, what was their hot button that they called you about? Like, what is the, you know, I love, you know, I'm a yoga instructor and I'm very health conscious, and the products were intriguing. What's that about? Or, hey, you know, I hate my job and I just got passed up for promotion and I didn't get a raise this year, and tell me about this business. Just use it to get the conversation going and get them into whichever is the appropriate pathway. Just know this, all organisms naturally atrophy. And your team, any organization is actually an organism, right? And organisms, to not atrophy, they need new blood. They need new oxygen. You've got to create just a steady stream of candidates coming through your pathways. You sort them out. These ones aren't ready. We put them into the follow-up later. These people really lit up about seed source nutrition, and we turn them on to the Rain Rewards program, and they become happy customers forever. Or they're intrigued with making money, and we take them down the associate pathway. They sign up, enroll, and they start building a team. That's what continually keeps your organization going and growing. And that's the step to creating a solid, cash flow positive, rewarding, intriguing Rain business that just helps you and your family live a more prosperous life. That's what it's about. And all the work we're doing, of course, always benefits the Seed for Change Foundation, and we help out people who are really in need through that as well. So we have something amazing here with Rain. And the key is making sure your people really see the system we have, the training we have, understand the candidate pathway, but it all starts with what we're talking about tonight, the pre-qualification process. All right, thank you. Sending it back to you.
Randy, thank you so very much for talking about the leadership. And guys, I left some stuff out about Randy that I wanted to say afterwards. I hope you got some really good nuggets out of that, because I'll tell you what, Mr. Randy Gage there, if you don't know him, you need to look him up. He's written like a dozen books. He's created over $44 billion in this industry. So he's done this a long time. He knows what he's talking about. And that's the kind of people we have with us right now in Rain International. So with that being said, I hope you got some nuggets, but it also gives me a reason to say, if you didn't get enough nuggets out of that, watch it over, replay it, listen to him again, because there is some amazing information he shared with us. And he is part of Rain. He is Rain. And I look so forward to hearing him speak each time he gets on and shares something with us. So guys, next, I want to talk about a couple of trips. Guys, we've got some cruises that you can qualify for. They started last week. It goes to the end of the year, December 30th. If you're in the United States, let's go to the Caribbean. If you're overseas in the Asia area, there's going to be a trip in Asia, and there's going to be another trip in the Middle East. But you have to qualify for me to tell you where they're at. Maybe we'll all take one big trip to all three cruises. It could be a lot of fun. So guys, find out from the person you are. Associates, get back with the people that you invited. I hope you took something out of this that you could carry on through into next week and share with others and share with yourself, and go over those nuggets of information and learn from them. Guys, this has been our Leadership Academy. I want to thank Mr. Brock Knight and his beautiful wife, Laura, and our beautiful Rebel, and Yana, and everybody, Mr. Derek, everybody. I want to thank y'all for jumping on tonight. I want to thank y'all for sharing. I want to thank you for being a part of Rain. Guest, get back with the person who invited you. Get your questions answered. And I look forward to being the first to welcome you to Rain. Guys, we look forward to it. There's some big things happening, and we look forward to seeing you in the future with Rain. Good night.
No music.